So Donald Trump, he held his one campaign event of the week in Asheville, North Carolina yesterday. Trump was really glitchy and twitching, and he was struggling to turn the English language, English words into coherent sentences with which he was able to communicate ideas. At one point, he took out packages of Tic Tacs, which we'll get to in a moment. I have to Tic Tacs. He has to know that people were constantly talking about how tiny his hands are, right? So we'll get there. Just bear with me. But he was continuing to raise some concerns. This is actually very serious. Um, he was raising concerns among Republicans about whether he was up to task, whether he's fit to campaign, never mind whether he's fit to be president of the United States. And just trying out the "you're fired" line on Kamala Harris, I guess you have to do that whenever you have nothing else to go back to, right? You have to do what you did on your old reality show, The Apprentice, right?
Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here. Go. Get out of here. Right? Get out. Boom.
Then he pulls out the Tic Tacs. And this was really a moment that many found to be the last straw with Donald Trump and his competency. He's obviously a very unwell individual, like mentally ill. And I'm not going to sit here and stigmatize mental illness. We would want to get him treatment, of course, but Republicans also want to make that very difficult too. So here's the Tic Tac routine. I guess trying to make a point about shrinkflation.
Look at this. So, this is Tic Tacs, right? I don't know if I like the company. I've never met. I have no idea. They're so lucky. Look at all the television. This is the greatest commercial they ever had.
So this guy's got a degree from Wharton. I just want to remind you of this.
But that's what happened. This is inflation. This is Tic Tac. This is Tic Tac. This is inflation. This is what. I just happened to have somebody gave me this one today. I said,
So as Donald Trump is standing on stage holding Tic Tacs like an incompetent lunatic, every single remotely sane Republican is telling him that the insults are just not working. They're telling him you are not going to win with this.
today we're being laughed at all over the world. You're paying the price for Kamala's liberal extremism at the gas pump, at the grocery counter, and on your mortgage bill, and on everything else. How about your car insurance? How's that doing? Not too good, right? I saw today it's up like 82%. We're not going to let this incompetent socialist lunatic keep breaking our economy for 4 more years. It'll destroy our country. On election day, we're going to tell her that we've had enough, that we can't take it anymore, Kamala. You're doing a horrible job. You were a terrible attorney general. You were a terrible district attorney. You're the worst vice president in history. Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here.
All right. So anyway, that's how the "you're fired" line he led up to that. And continuing with this very same approach, he goes back to the issue that's at the forefront of the minds of Americans. It's the way Kamala Harris laughs.
Don't laugh. No, it's her. No, her laugh is career threatening. They said don't laugh. She hasn't laughed. She doesn't laugh anymore. It's smart, but someday it's going to come out. That's the laugh of a person with some big problems.
So it's very clearly known that every Republican worth anything in terms of listening to, they're saying that's a bad idea. You're not going to win with that. Anybody with a brain finds it absolutely distasteful. But Trump is not stopping. He's going to go down with the ship at the end of the day. A number of completely unintelligible word salads where I identify the words he's using as English, but they're just not really making any sense. So here's one of them.
Now, this is a little bit different day because this isn't around. This is we're talking about a thing called the economy. They wanted to do a speech on the economy. A lot of people are very devastated by what's happened with inflation and all of the other things. So we're doing this as a intellectual speech. You're all intellectuals today. Today we're doing it, and we're doing it right now, and it's very important.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Then another one of these, well, what the hell moments is Trump is talking about darling and electricity. Like what is that? I don't even know what this is.
Do you think that's going to lift your prices a little bit? Think of that. They're going to take away 84%. And the real stuff, that's the stuff that powers the plants. It's not wind that goes around and around. And, darling, let's watch the president's State of the Union speech tonight. I'm sorry, we won't be able to do it. The wind isn't blowing, darling. We have no electricity.
So Trump seemingly continuing not to know about battery technology, which has been around for, oh, I don't know, quite a long time. Donald Trump also during his speech, because remember, the speech is about the economy. Well, he's insisting that when it looks like he might win, not reelection, a second term, a non consecutive term, when it looks like he might win the election, he says the stock market goes up. And when it looks like Kamala Harris is going to win, the stock market goes down. Unfortunately, that's not very much the way that it's working. Today, Kamala Harris has her best polling of the campaign. As I am recording this now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 400 points. But let's never let the facts get in front of a good propaganda talking point, right?
Many people say that the only reason the stock market is up is because people think I am going to win. Did you ever hear that?
When he says that many people say, that's basically code for no one serious is saying.
But there was one day, a couple of weeks ago, when they weren't thinking that, and you saw what happened. This will be a 1929 style crash.
And then, of course, Trump promised this 1929 style crash under a Biden administration. We've never seen a higher stock market. Again, facts, easily provable facts. We've never seen more all time stock market highs right now than we have under Joe Biden. And then Trump is showing that he is absolutely terrified of Tim Walz and the fact that Walz makes JD Vance look so bad that when Tim Walz fires up an arena with 10,000 people in it, JD Vance speaks in front of some trucks to 25 people the way he did yesterday. And Trump knows it is not going well at all.
I mean, the clown that she picked as a vice president, this guy's a clown. He was so bad. You know, when Minneapolis was burning down, he didn't want to call in the National Guard. I got him on the phone. You got to get the National Guard. Get it, get it, get it. I'm telling you, if I didn't force it upon him, you might not have the city.
Of course, Trump is now rewriting history after he got caught on an audio recording saying that Walz handled everything great in Minnesota. Now he's saying he only handled it great because he was forced to do it. So Trump is pulling out another one of his verbal mind games where he says nobody knows. They have no idea what something means. When Trump says that they have no idea what something means, what he means is, I have no idea what something means. And in this case, it's net zero. It's the concept of net zero.
Under Kamala's extreme high-cost energy policy known as net zero, you know what net zero, they have no idea what it means, by the way. It's net zero. What does that mean? Nobody knows. Ask her what it means. We're going to go to a net zero policy. What does that mean? I have no idea.
Okay, let me explain it to you very simply. Net zero means the amount of energy consumed and the amount of renewable energy generated over a period of time are the same. I'll give you an example. My solar panels are a net zero over a year, over the course of a year. In the summer, my solar panels generate way more electricity than I need for everything. And in the winter, I run a deficit, of course, because there's not as much sun. So in the winter, I use more electricity than my solar panels will generate. But over the course of a year, it's a net zero, in that I'm generating more than enough to cover all of my usage. It's very simple. And when Trump says no one knows what it means is he doesn't know what it means. And I don't think that comes as a surprise really to anybody. Then Trump with the most ridiculous, insane conversation with Elon Musk the other day.
Be a little bit different question. That's all right. Did everybody the other night see Elon and me? Right? It's great. That was one of the most successful shows ever done. I mean, that was him. I think they like me too, come to think of it. But he's great, and he gave us his full endorsement. He's a great guy, but he basically, he's a guy doesn't need this stuff. What he wants to do is see our country be great again, and he understands. And it's very hard for him to endorse the opposing party. It's not easy. It's very hard. But he really cares about our country, and he knows the opposing party has really destroyed our country.
Yeah, so there is a glitch. He's praising Elon Musk. Then finally, Trump was wrapping up his speech in Asheville, North Carolina, where it just kind of felt like it went on forever. And of course, the inspiring message that we're literally now a third world country.
We have a lot of important subjects because our country has become a third world nation. We literally are a third world nation. We're a banana republic in so many ways, and we're not going to let that happen.
Right. So, not a message that I think is going to get the vote out there for Donald Trump. And I can see now why he's only doing one event a week. They are an absolute disaster. If you need a little context for the environment in which this happened, check out what Trump supporters had to say at this very event we just listened to. Well, hello. Listen to all of our past episodes at joshfourier.com.